You ever see a man's smirk melt right off his face in front of hundreds of people with nothing but a name? Yeah, that happened. It was supposed to be just another summer night at Ashfield International. Humid air, slow baggage claim, and tired passengers dragging themselves through a poorly ventilated terminal. But at exactly 9:38 p.m., something snapped. Something that made two officers, airport security, name tags barely hanging on their vests, think they were about to make the bust of the year. Except the woman they stopped? She wasn't some random traveler. She was Director Naomi Bradford, newly appointed head of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. And they were about to handcuff the most powerful law enforcement officer in the country on live stream. No press, no fanfare. Naomi walked alone through Terminal B, perfectly tailored gray suit, low heels clicking with calm rhythm across polished tile, her eyes alert but unreadable. She'd just landed from Seattle, half her brain still wired with national security briefings and jet lag. All she wanted was a shower and 6 hours of dreamless sleep. But tonight, her body wouldn't rest, because the system wasn't going to let her. She passed Gate 22 when she saw them. Two white officers, mid-30s, posture like they owned the place, eyes scanning for suspicious. One nudged the other. Barely a twitch of the elbow, a glance too long. She noticed, of course she did. Naomi had spent 30 years learning to spot threats before they speak. "Ma'am, traveling alone tonight?" the taller one asked, stepping forward. "Yes," she replied, without missing a beat. "Mind telling us where you're headed?" She paused, not out of fear, but calculation. "Is there a problem?" Their eyes flicked over her. Black woman, mid-50s, briefcase, suit. "Matches a description," one said. "Possible transport of sensitive documents." Naomi raised an eyebrow. "So, I look like a federal agent off shift?" The taller officer stepped closer. "We'll need to inspect that briefcase." She tightened her grip. "I don't think you understand. I'm Naomi Bradford, director of the FBI." Silence, then a scoff. "Yeah? Got any ID to prove that?" Without a word, she reached into her blazer, pulled out her official badge and ID, photograph, seal, everything. She held it out. They didn't take it. They laughed. You could feel it, the ripple in the air, like the moment before thunder cracks. Phones started rising. A young girl paused her music. A mother with a stroller stared wide-eyed. Someone hit record. Naomi didn't raise her voice. "I'm not showing this to impress you," she said. "I'm following protocol." "This isn't your protocol tonight," the other officer snapped. "We're taking you in for questioning." She looked around, at the cameras, at the watchers, and exhaled slowly. "Call your DHS contact, or your supervisor, right now." They didn't. Instead, one reached for her briefcase. Naomi stepped back. "Don't touch that. You don't have clearance." "Hands where we can see them," the tall one barked. The next seconds happened fast. They moved in, arms out. Naomi didn't resist, but she didn't comply either. Her voice stayed even. "You're making a serious mistake." They didn't care. He twisted her arm behind her back. The handcuffs clicked shut. Her briefcase hit the ground with a heavy thud. The terminal went dead quiet, except for the clicks of dozens of recording phones. "You have the right to remain silent," the officer muttered, more to himself than to her. "Do you know what you've done?" she asked. "You're obstructing a safety check." "No, you're illegally detaining a federal official." The shorter one, Landry, snorted. "We're just trying to keep the airport safe." She looked him dead in the eye. "I've already identified myself. You refuse to verify." "Ma'am, stop speaking." He pushed her toward a bench. Her blazer wrinkled, one button half ripped from the scuffle. The briefcase lay untouched. A woman in the crowd called out, "Are you seriously arresting the head of the FBI?" Landry snapped, "Keep walking." That made things worse. More eyes, more phones, more questions. One officer picked up her ID, staring at it. "Devin," he whispered, "this looks real." The taller officer snatched it, scanned it. Seal, hologram, biometrics. He looked at her again, suddenly not so sure. "Where'd you get this?" he asked, voice wavering. "I didn't get it," she said. "It was issued to me, after 28 years of service. I trained the people who trained you." That cracked it. You could see it on Landry's face. He started shifting, eyes darting. "You could have told us," he mumbled. "I did tell you. You chose not to listen." TSA agents were approaching now. A janitor stopped mid-mop. The radio on Devon's belt chirped. Terminal B, DHS en route. Code 542. Devon froze. What's 542? Landry swallowed. High priority personnel mishandling. And just like that, their world flipped. Landry fumbled the keys, tried to unlock her cuffs. Just protocol, ma'am. She stared at him. Stop calling me ma'am like it erases what you just did. Devon offered the briefcase. She didn't take it. You don't touch classified material unless you're cleared. Then came the twist. An older black man in a denim jacket stepped forward. I saw her testify before the Senate last week, he said. She is the director. Landry opened his mouth, got shut down by a raised hand. You dragged her like she stole a pack of gum, the man said. She's got more clearance in her left pocket than you do in your whole life. Naomi gave him a subtle nod. Not thanks, recognition. Then a Latina TSA supervisor arrived. Ma'am, I'm so sorry, she said, flustered. Don't apologize for their mistake, Naomi answered. And then the real agents showed up. DHS, suits, badges, earpieces. The crowd split. One scanned her ID with a handheld biometric reader. He turned to the two officers. Step aside, now. Landry looked like he wanted to disappear. Devon stared at his boots. I want every security feed from this terminal, the agent said. Every body cam file. Internal Affairs will meet them after shift. Landry whispered, This is insane. No, the older man said from the crowd. What's insane is thinking you could treat a black woman like that and no one would notice. Naomi picked up her case, dusted it off, closed the latch. I'd like to leave now, she said. The DHS agent nodded. Of course. We'll escort you. She didn't look back, didn't flinch for the cameras, just walked. Straight ahead, head high, shoulders square. Later that night, in the back of a black SUV gliding down the parkway, her phone buzzed. Unknown number. Director Bradford, she answered. Judge Marcus Wren, came a gravelly voice. I saw the video. You handled it with more grace than most of us could. Just wanted to say, my 13-year-old grandson says you're the first government official he respects. She finally exhaled. That means more than you know, she said. The next morning, Naomi stood at a podium at FBI headquarters, lights blazing, reporters waiting. 6 million views in less than 12 hours. This wasn't the first time, she began. Might not be the last, but this isn't just about me. It's about what it means that in 2025 a black woman in a suit is still seen as a threat before she's seen as a leader. I'm not here for revenge, she said. I don't want to ruin those two men. I want them to learn. I want the system that shaped them to unlearn everything it taught them about fear. She paused. If I'd had a different face yesterday, I'd have been in my car in 5 minutes. Someone asked if she'd press charges. No, she said, because I'm not here to break 2 links in the chain. I'm here to melt the whole damn thing. A beat. How do you feel today, personally? She smiled, tight, focused. Angry, but clear. And then, in a quiet back room of FBI HQ, she met with 2 nervous young officers, suspended and unsure. She didn't yell, didn't scold. She showed them photos of her first day at Quantico, of her father, a civil rights lawyer who believed the system could change. And then she said the words that stayed with them forever. Yesterday you told him he was wrong. By noon, headlines exploded. FBI director speaks out, not with rage, but with purpose. Across the country, parents showed her press conference to their kids. And in a sealed envelope, handwritten, came a letter. I used to think racism was something ugly other people had. Now I know I carried it too. Thank you for the wake-up call. And maybe that's the real ending. Or maybe it's just the beginning. You tell me, was justice served, or is the system still cuffing the wrong people? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about what should happen next.